Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Coachman. So, not only are we going to be going way back in time, we're going to be going hopping, skipping, and jump back over to Ireland, back in the 8th and 9th century, to a more of a, I would call it probably a fairy tale, in a sense, but it's called Connla and the Fairy Maiden, and the crazy thing about this one, yeah, is that like the source of it there really isn't a known author, because in early Irish mythology cycles, um it was just like everything was kind of like just told, like everything was passed down like story to story. So it basically it comes from Ireland's early oral tradition, and it's passed down by poets and druids, before being written down by monks. And these storytellers are preserved like a world view where the boundary between like humans and other worlds, like they were very thin, you know what I mean, and like enticing. And so it's almost as if, kind of like, I would put it in modern terms, right? It's like that person, like that very religious person wanting to, like, that swears they've been to the other side, you know what I mean? So like there was that kind of dynamic going on. And a little bit of like history about it is that, like, in early Irish culture, like I said, they believed in an otherworld, which but like it existed like alongside, and it was like a realm of like beauty, immortality, and timelessness, kind of like what we think of like modern day heaven. You know what I mean? And like fair folk, meaning like, fairies and all that kind of state, they weren't cute or harmless. They were powerful beings who had gifts and always come at it, and their gifts, they always come with a price. You know what I mean? Almost kind of like, how they said like Achilles. You know what I mean? Like he had, his Achilles, of course, or like, what was the one, like Hercules, cut off his hair and he loses his power, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, but in addition, it was like there were like kingship, there was lineage, and destiny mattered. It mattered a lot. A prince leaving the human world wasn't just a personal loss; it threatened social order, because they believed like, oh my God, like, yeah, it was a different time where I would say religion and reality were very much intertwined, like even more than today is. So with that being said, let's get into this. Let's get into this story, and it's Connla and the Fairy Maiden. So Connla of the Fairy Hair was son of Conn of the 100 Fights. Honestly, think about that. That is one sick ass name. So your name is Connla of the Fiery Hair, and your pop's name is Conn of the 100 Fights. Think about it. You say, yo, that's my dad over there. That's Conn. And everybody knows, yo, wait. Conn of the 100 Fights? Yo, you know somebody's kicking it a nickel to the left and they're out. Like, no bullshit. So one day, as he stood by the side of his father on the height of Usna, he saw a maiden clad in strange attire coming towards him. "Whence comest thou, maiden?" said Connla. "I come from the plains of the ever-living," she said. "There, there where there is neither death nor sin. There we keep holiday alway, nor need we help from any in our joy. And in all our pleasure we have no strife. And because we have our home in the Room Green Hills, men call us the hill folk." So basically, it sounds like this is like just like almost like living in like Austria, and but there's just no hiccup. Like, actually, you know what? That is kind of a good analogy. It's almost like retiring in Austria. Just, oh yeah, I got like rolling hills everywhere. I just get to run around and fuck off, do whatever I want, run around butt ass naked. Guess what? Nobody's gonna say anything because I'm too nuts and they think I'm crazy, but I'm not. So it works out. The king and all with him wandered. The king and all with him wandered much to hear a voice, when they saw no one, for save Connla alone. none saw the Fairy Maiden. See what I'm saying? Connla's retired. To whom art thou talking, my son? Said Con the king. Then the maiden answered, Connla speaks to a young, fair maid. Neither death nor old age awaits. I love Connla, and now I call him away to the plain of pleasures. Moimel, where Boadog is king for aye, nor has there been complaint or sorrow in that land since he has held the kingship. Oh, come with me, Connla of the fiery hair, ruddy as the dawn with thy tawny skin. A fiery crown awaits thee to grace thy comely face and royally form. Come, and never shall thy comeliness fade, nor thy youth, till the last awful day of judgment. The king in fear at what the maiden said, which he heard, which he heard though he could not see her, called aloud to his druid, Charon by name. O Charon, of many spells, he said, and of the cunning magic, I call upon thy aid. A task is upon me too great for all my skill and wit, greater than any laid upon me since I seized the kingship. A maiden unseen has met us, and by her power would take from me my dear, my comely son. If thou help not, he will be taken from thy king by woman's wiles and witchery. Now, I'm gonna tell you, keep it all the way a buck, yeah? In modern day, that sounds like, no joke, in modern day, that sounds like a dad whose kid is pussy whipped and just begging somebody, yo, help me get this kid to see straight. But we all know that don't happen. Then Charon the druid stood forth and chanted his spells towards the spot where the maiden's voice had been heard. And none heard her voice again, nor could Connla see her longer. Only as she vanished before the druid's mighty spell, she threw an apple to Connla. Come on now, we all know what the apple is. Come on, Adam and Eve, Adam and Steve, it don't matter. We all know what that shit is. For a whole month from that day, Connla would take nothing, either to eat or to drink, save only from that apple. But as he ate, it grew again and always kept whole. See, he just ain't, I'm telling you, he's whipped. And all the while there grew within him a mighty yearning and longing after the maiden he had seen. But when the last day of the month of waiting came, Connla stood by the side of the king, his father, on the plain of Arcomin. And again he saw the maiden come towards him, and again she spoke to him. 'Tis a glorious pace, forsooth, that Connla holds among short-lived mortals, awaiting of the day of death. But now the folk of life, the ever-living ones, beg and bid thee come to Moimel, the plain of pleasure, for they have learnt to know thee, seeing thee in thy home among thy dear ones. When Con the king heard the maiden's voice, he called to his men aloud and said, Summon swift my druid Charon, for I see she has again this day. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah. See, she has again this day the power of speech. Then the maiden said, O mighty Con, fighter of 100 fights, and probably about to put his elbow in your jaw, the druid's power is little loved. It has little honor in the mighty land, people with so many of the upright. When the law will come, it will do away with the druid's magic, spells that come from the lips of the false black demon. AKA, she just calling him a bitch. Then Con, the king, observed that since the maiden come, Connla, his son, spoke to none that spake to him. So Con of the 100 fights said to him, Is it to thy mind what the woman says, my son? 'Tis hard upon me, then, said Connla. I love my own folk above all things, but yet, but yet, a longing seizes for me, for the maiden. When the maiden heard this, she answered and said, the ocean is not so strong as the waves of thy longing. Come with me in my kara, the gleaming, straight gliding crystal canoe. Soon we can reach Boadag's realm. I see the bright sun, yet the sun sink. Yet far as it is, we can reach it before dark. There is too another land worthy of thy journeys, a land joyous to all that seek it. Only wives and maidens dwell there. If thou wilt, we can seek it, and live there alone together in joy. I'm telling you, this is one wicked temptress right here, boy. When the maiden ceased to speak, Connla of the fiery hair rushed away from them and sprang into the corral, the gleaming, straight gliding crystal canoe. And then they all, king and court, saw it glide away over the bright sea towards the setting sun. Away and away, till I could see it no longer, and Connla and the fiery maiden went their way on the sea, and were no more seen, nor did anyone where they came. So, honestly, I would say this, yeah. So this is kind of like my take. Well, I can tell you this. So basically, this story it kind of reminds us that not every call is meant to be answered, and not every beautiful promise is meant for this world. Some paths they don't come back around, and but kind of what I got from this, you know what I mean, is that like there sometimes like there are sometimes there are really tough decisions. And you know what? And I would put it this way. It's kind of like the heart versus the head. You know what I mean? Like think about it. He even said it like I love my people. I love where I'm at. But there's just something else that's just telling me I got to go. And to me, I think this is like one of the biggest dilemmas like in human history. You know what I mean? Your heart versus your head. You can't get away from that shit. No matter what. Everybody has gone through it and everybody, throughout time will keep going through it. So it's just one of those tough ones. You know what I mean? Hey, it is what it is. But I will say this though, and an interesting question that has come up is I will ask it if this stuck out with you, I'd like for you to even ask yourself. And if you want, catch me on Facebook, catch me on Instagram or YouTube, wherever it is. And let me know. Ask yourself first, but then let me know if you want. What kind of voice do you listen to when nobody else can hear? And is it and for me, I would say this. I talk to myself a lot, so it happens often. But I'd like to know, like, what is it? Like, I'd like to ask you, like, what speaks to you? Is it like when you're walking around, you listen to other people, and then all of a sudden just take it in? Is it like the wind, and you for some reason it just makes you think of something, a smell, or is it just literally your own voice? And what kind of pulls at like what you know versus how you feel? So hopefully you enjoy this story as much as I did reading it. And yeah, take care. And until next time, take care.